Yes, finally we have finished the scene setup and animation. So in this chapter we can start the Glu3D setup and add some wetness to this dry scene. First of all, I want to add juice drops on the objects. I mean on orange, melon and the bottle inside the melon. So I want to start with P wrapper. Before working on our main scene, I want to explain P wrapper in a different basic scene that includes only one orange. So let me load it. In this scene we have just one orange object, and I will use both P wrapper and particle flow to create juice drops around the surface of this orange. Before starting, as a short definition, P wrapper is a surface mesh generator and it is located here. This is a surface mesh generator and we can use this both with standard 3ds Max particles and Glu3D particles. Of course, this also includes particle flow. Now let's create a P wrapper in the scene. Yes, here's our P wrapper, and now I want to create particles around this object. So I will use particle flow for this. Let me resize it. Yes. Well, let's create a standard flow first of all, and the position object here. I will add this orange object in the list as an emitter object. Let's click on these, and so we can see particles are generated in time around the surface, but I don't want them to be generated in time, so I will change emitting stop to 0. As we can see from the beginning of the animation, we can have these 200 particles. 200 is enough for this scene, but I will use a larger number for our main scene. And one last thing, I will change the shape of these particles to vertex. So let's put particle view here, and let's start work with P wrapper. As we said before, P wrapper is a mesh generator. So now we will use these particles to create a mesh. To create a mesh around these particles, I will pick the particle flow source, and yes, a mesh is generated, but it looks too big. I will change the drop size to a smaller value, and now yes, we can see can see drops around the surface. Yes. And what else we can do? We can play with the melt force parameter, and we can have more spherical drops, and we can play with the shrinkage parameter. For this example I will use 0.3 for shrinkage, and I think melt force 3 is okay for this. And for detail I will use a lower value for viewport. It can be 5 is not enough. It can be 8, and for rendering I will use 20. So let's render this and see what happened. Yes, this is the result, and maybe we can change a few parameters. This is too much. Yes, I think it looks better. Yes, this is how P-Wrapper works. So now let me save this scene and let's continue with our main scene. Yes, this is our main scene, and we will continue working on this. As a beginning, let's put a P-Wrapper, and now we can create particles around the objects. We will use to create particles around them. Obviously the first objects are melon and the bottle inside. Now I will hide these low polygon objects. I'm not using them for this. Okay, so let's add emitter objects to the list. One is this object, melon left. The other one is the right side, melon right. And another one is glass bottle scene. And a few of the orange, especially the ones near to melon, we can add them. And this one, this one. To save time, actually you are watching this 3 times faster. Back to normal speed now. Now 200 particles is not enough, so I will change the amount of particles to 10,000. I think this is too much. Sorry. Let's say 5,000. Yes, I think this will be okay. I will continue adding objects. This takes too much time, so faster again. Yes, I think it looks enough. Let's check it in animation. And this is the last frame of the animation, and I think I must add these objects in the particle emitter list also. Yes, add this one and this one, this one, and this. I think this looks enough for now. So now we can start working with, yes, let's change the birth emitter stop to 0. And now we can start working with the p-wrapper. I will select the p-wrapper icon in the scene and click on modify. Now I can pick the particle flow source. Yes, now as we can see, p-wrapper generated surface around the particles. So we can start changing the parameters. For example, drop size to, yes, not that much, but maybe 0.5. This is too big. 0.2. Oh, sorry. 0.2. Yeah, this time this looks too much small. Maybe 0.3 is okay. Yes, it can be. And what else we can change? Let's try changing the melting force to 0 to 4. Let's try 3. Yes, maybe 3.5 is okay. And shrinkage to 0.1. This will be too much, I think. And 2.5. Yes, 0.3 is okay. Maybe melt force is 3.8. Yes, I think this looks, I think this is a rich look now, so I will accept it. So let's see it in a preview animation. Our animation range is 220 frames. So let's try a preview. Make preview, and yes, so let's create it. I will not show you the preview render, so let's see the result. Yes, now let's see what happens in animation. As I see from the last frame of this animation, I think we can use a smaller drop size and it will look better. So let's try it. Maybe 0.2. Yes, I think 0.2 is better. Yes, I think 0.22. And for the material, now I will assign for the material I will assign a ray trace material to these objects, to these drops. I will not create it from scratch, but I have a ray trace material assigned on the glass bottle. So let's get this material from the scene. Let's rename it. And I will make a copy of it and rename as drops. I will change index of refraction to 1.55 to 1.30. 1.55 was for glass, and 1.3 is for water. What else we can change? These drops are a mixture of orange and melon juice, so the color of them will be probably orange. So let's change the transparency color from white to an orange color. Let's try it. Yes. So let's assign this material to objects. And close this and close particle view window, and we can parameters, so let me go over them again. And the final drop size is 0.15, melt force is amount of particles is 15,000, and I changed the material of the drops. I used a more yellow material than an orange material, and I gave a little luminosity. Actually, I'm not happy with the drops on this bottle, so I will change something. Yes, I will remove the glass bottle scene object from emitter objects list, and I will create another particle flow tree for that object. I will use this one for only bottle. Yes. And now I have to create another P wrapper for this object. So let's create it from the original one. I will clone this one and rename it P wrapper bottle, and remove this particle source object from the list, and I will add instead the second one. Yes. Now we can see drops on the outer surface of the bottle. Yes. Now we can see the drops on the bottle. They are not too much now, so we can render this scene again and see the result. Well, here is the result of the render. Actually, lighting setup is not finished yet, so it looks darker. I will fine tune it later. We see nice drops on the bottle, although it is empty, and also we see drops on the melon surface. When I place particle sources, we will see juice drops are falling from the bottle and the melon, and also we will see a filled bottle with moving liquid in the bottle. So now let's continue with the next chapter.